Welcome to our class. Our class is created by the collaboration of Mrs. Wynn, Mr. Arthur Wynn, and Mr. John Wynn. We are the science teacher in the Wynn family. The primary objective of our class is to give the students the opportunity to learn the essentials academic and career skill need to be successful in life. One of the most important aspects of our class is having a safe learning environment for all students. By making sure that everyone has a clear understanding of our class routines, expectations, and consequences. When you enter our class, you are given 3 participation points because I assume that you will follow all class routines, expectations, and you will engage in all class activities. However, when you hear this sound, one or more students have lost their participation point. It is my way to remind students to be on task without embarrassing the students. In our class, I always try to respect student opinion when a student has any concern. However, the student needs to raise the concern appropriately. That is, you need to write on a piece of paper, have your name on it, and hand it to me at the end of class. This way, I can address your concern one-on-one. Our class time is not a place for me and you to address your concern. It is for all students to learn. If you do not respect other student learning environment and express your concern as a little kid, I will send you to an administrator and call your parent. To be able to raise your concern appropriately is an essential skill that you will earn your co-workers and your employer respect in the future. Again, it's about practicing the skill that you need to be successful in life. Now let's talk about our class routine. When I ask for your full attention, I will say, clap once if you can hear me, and I will clap once. Then, you will stop whatever you were doing, look at me, and clap once. If most of the class did not hear me, I might say, clap twice if you can hear me, and I clap twice. Again, you stop and look at me and clap twice. As a reminder, you will not earn your participation point if you do not clap your hand. When you clap your hand, it is also to remind nearby students to give me their full attention. If the entire class failed to give me their full attention, the whole class will not earn participation point for that day and may get further consequences. So let's work together as a team and make this class a fun learning environment. Let's move on to the next procedure. Before I let you enter our class, you need to show me that you are ready to learn. That is, you can get in a straight line, put all food, cosmetics, electronics, including your cell phone and headphones, in your backpack. Also, I need you to take your hats and hoods off. Lastly, you will need to give me the correct answer to the entrance question. To be able to enter the class before the tardy bell is your first task of earning your daily participation point. If you fail to follow this simple routine, I will have to call your parent, set up a parent conference to discuss the issue. Again, I'm here to support you, to train you to be ready for the real world. After you have entered your class, you will have only your homework, composition notebook, and writing utensil on your desk. If you have anything else, such as your binder, textbook, or backpack on your desk, I assume that you have something to hide. For example, I noticed many students hide their cell phone and text during class behind this item. Also, I don't want to make any negative assumption about students. And you have noticed so far, many of my routines are created so I can treat all students fairly, instead of making biased assumptions toward a particular group of students. So let's create a fair learning environment for all students. When you are working on your bellwork, I need you to work individually and quietly. It is meant for me to assess what you have learned so far. Helping other students to cheat on the bellwork does not help that particular student. They need to show what they have learned so far. However, if you are struggling on the bellwork, you can still earn full credit by writing a WIN tutorial or WIN tutorial. The W is what you already know about the question and the topic present in the question. So you can basically paraphrase what is the question asked you to do. And then what do you know about that specific topic? The I is what you can infer or conclude about what you already have known about the question and the topic. So the W and the I pretty much go together. Basically, your work on the problem so far. Until you get to the point you cannot move on anymore, and we get to the letter N. And of course, the N is what you need to know more in order to move on to the next step. Because when you're solving a problem, sometimes we need to know specific information about something in that problem in order to solve the problem. But we couldn't figure it out. And that is your N. What do I need to know to move on to the next steps? Again, most of your grade on the bell work is based on your honest effort, but I can only judge your effort based on what you wrote. Our main strategy of creating a safe learning environment in this class is based on positive behavioral intervention. That is, students are given the chance to reflect and make positive decisions by having different levels of consequences. When you forgot to follow a class expectation and procedure, I will give you a signal. And I will take point off instead of calling you out in class. Well, unless your action is visible to the entire class. If you repeatedly do not follow a class expectation and have become a problem to our class safety, I will have to sit you at the start table. Until you can show the class that you can respect other right to learn. Of course, I will notify your parent and make request a parent conference to discuss the issue and remove any misunderstanding. Usually, the student misbehaves in class because there is a misunderstanding between a teacher and a student. Again, do not hesitate to write your concern and give it to me. In the end, I am here to teach you the essential skill to be successful in life. However, if your action is rude and disruptive, you have forced me to send you out of the class. So you can think about your behavior and change it before you can return to class. When I dismiss you, or have you go outside the class, I want you to write down your concern, and I will read it, and I will address you one-on-one outside, before I can make the decision to write you a referral or let you return to class. Let's talk about another essential career skill that we will practice in our class. That is, we can follow the instruction the first time they are given. In the world outside of high school, your supervisor and co-workers will not repeat what they said to you. They expect you to listen and get it the first time. If you want a well-paid job, this is a must-have skill. Next, keep all electronics, cosmetic, food in your backpack, not in your pocket. People will always judge you based on the appearances before they can judge you based on your action. If you walk in a meeting with your headphone hanging around your neck or your cell phone in your pocket, your co-worker and employer will not take you seriously at all. Worse, your co-worker and employer might ask you to put it away in front of everyone. Practice this skill. Think of your classroom as a workplace. Your action will become your habit in the future. Also, work until the teacher dismisses the class. If you are running your own company one day, you would expect this from all of your employees as well. People get promoted not only because of their intelligence, but it is more about their honest dedication to do their job. If you pack up before I dismiss you, you will not earn your participation point. Worse, if you pack up and wait at the door, I will keep you at the class and I will call your parent. Next, learn how to SLANT. S-L-A-N-T. Sit up, listen carefully, ask and answer question, nod your head, and track the speaker. SLANT-ing is a summary of all the essential career skills that you will need to be successful in your career. It is your body language that people will judge you by when you are in a meeting or at your workplace. So learn how to SLANT. Now let's talk about some common behaviors that may cause you to lose the respect of others or even losing your job. The most common one is raising your concern inappropriately. Complaining, shouting, and arguing in class will cause others not to take your concern seriously. In our class, you will learn to raise your concern appropriately by writing it on a piece of paper, hand it to me at the end of class. If you can raise your concern appropriately in this class, you will earn the respect of others as well as the respect of your teacher. When you hand me your concern on a piece of paper, I have the time to read it and think about it and take your concern more seriously. Now, if you cannot respect other people's learning environment, then I have to dismiss you from the class and call your parent. Many of us learn to complain to our parent by crying, shouting, and screaming at our parents when we were little. Now, it has become a habit for many of you. If you are one of those students, then you will get the chance in this class to make that habit not a habit anymore. And therefore, you will increase your chance of being successful in the future. Another bad habit is making inappropriate or off-topic comment or question. Some students love the attention of others, but they try to be a class clown by making a fool of themselves or ask teacher unrelated questions to get the teacher off task. Worse, they shout random and rude comment. We call those students blurter. That is, they blurt out random comments. Now, these blurter, they are basically not mature enough to control or filter their own thought. So, learn not to blurt in our class, because you will lose our classmate respect. And of course, as your teacher, I will call on your parent to discuss the issue. So again, respect other education. It is not your playground. Because we are trying to respect your education as well. I want you and every single student in this class to be successful one day. Lastly, students often develop a bad habit of having their heads down in class. Imagine your employers see you have your heads down during a meeting or when you are supposed to be working. In this class, you will learn to have and maintain the right body posture at all times. People often lose their job because of this bad habit. If you are tired or have a bad day, let me know, write your concern on a piece of paper and hand it to me at the beginning of class. So I know that you have a bad day, so I will understand your situation. So what are the reward and consequences? The obvious reward is earning your participation. But the most important reward is that you have learned the essential career skill needed to be successful in life. In this class, learning chemistry is not our only objective, but using the process of learning complex chemistry concepts, encourage students to practice the essential career skill that will eventually help students to develop a growth mindset, which it will prepare them to overcome any challenge in the future. Also, they will develop a confident body posture that will earn the respect of their employer as well as their co-workers. As for the consequence, you will not earn your participation point. Worse, you will lose my respect as well as the respect of your classmate. In the end, it's not just about your grade. It is about your ability to grow as an individual who wants to be successful and to have a better life for yourself and your loved ones. This class will give you that opportunity to be someone better. Then we have the STAR table. The STAR table is for a student who need a place that is absence of all distraction. So a student can reflect on their negative behaviors and they can change their bad habits. It is also a place for me to have a blurter to sit because there will be no nearby student to give them the attention. Now, if that particular blurter continue to not respect other student learning, I will dismiss that particular student from class and call that parent during class if I have to. Now, let's talk about some other procedure that we also have in this class. Another important procedure in this class is getting permission to go to the restroom or to your locker or to get water or go to another teacher classroom during class. According to our school policy, a teacher cannot dismiss a student during the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes. This is to support our supervisor and our administrator to maintain a safe learning environment school-wise. Now, if you really have an emergency, I may let you go, but I will contact your parent and your administrator. But to get permission to be dismissed from class, you need to fill out a hall pass, which is given to you. Raise it up, and I will call you and you exchange your pass with the school hall pass. When you return, just return the pass in the right place. What happened if you forgot your pass? Take out a piece of paper, write at least 2 sentences to explain why it is an emergency, and use that notes to exchange for the school hall pass. But the next day, you better give me your emergency hall pass, or you will lose that 10-point extra credit at the end of the semester. Because each pass will worth 10 extra credit points. All passes used in this class will be documented, so do not make copy of passes. Because if you make copy of passes and you get caught, there will be further consequences. Now let's talk about turning in homework on time. Homework is due at the beginning of class. I will give the entire class about 1 minute to take out their homework and pass it up. Any homework turned in after the 1 minute will be late and need an I forgot pass. Also, tardy student, you need to staple a valid pass from your teacher or whoever wrote you the pass on your work and put it in the tray before you are sitting down. And each student, they will get 2 I forgot pass per semester. If they don't use the I forgot pass, it will be counted toward as extra credit. What about first period student? Because you are late because of your parents. All you have to do is ask the parent to write a short note, have their name on it, the signature, date, and their phone number. And staple that to your work, and that will be a valid pass. Because I understand that your parents are doing their best to bring you to school on time as well. Now, if you forgot to do your homework, you need to do it and turn it in the tray before the tardy bell on the next day with your I forgot pass attached to it. Any homework turned in after that will not get any credit at all. As a reminder, your quiz and tests are based on your homework. So doing the homework is preparing you for the test and quiz. The practice of turning homework on time seems to be insignificant to you now, but it will become a habit that will help you in the future. Because if you are running a project one day and you present to your employer or to your client and you are not on time, guess what happened? You lose the contract. You lose the whole entire thing. So learn to do your work on time. It is a very important skill to be successful in life. Now let's talk about how do we make up work in this class. As a reminder, you are the one that is responsible for your absence. To make up work in this class, you can only make up your work if your absence is excused before the given due date. So let's say if you were absent, you're going to check your Moodle website and do what you can to catch up with the class. On the first day back, you need to see me after school only, and I will not hand out any makeup work during class, because class time is for me to prepare for all students. Trust me, it will not take more than 5 minutes for me to get the makeup work and give to you. Now, after you finish your work, show it to me before the tardy bell of the due date that is given to you. Now, when you have a job one day, you will understand that this is an important skill and responsibility of any employee, especially when you are a manager or a supervisor in your company. That is, you will learn to be responsible for your absences, because the work doesn't go away when you're absent. It's only piling up. At last, the moment you have been waiting for, your grade. As a reminder, your grade is not the only indicator of your success in life. Instead, only you, and I mean only you, can determine how much you have learned in this class. That is, if you cheated and got an A in this class, then you have wasted an entire year in this class, and you have not get a chance to learn a single essential skill that are taught in this class. So work with honesty and do your best. In the long run, it is you and only you going to be facing all the challenges outside of high school. My job here is to create a learning environment that prepare you for that life. And the student who cheat in school and cheat in college, guess what happened when they graduate from college? They are still unprepared for the job in the real world. And guess what happened to them? They lose their job. Understand that education is a long-term process. It's not just about a letter grade. Now, 60% of your grade is based on test and quiz. I do not offer any retake on any test or quiz. And you cannot use any notes on any test or quiz. All tests and quiz are just based on the average of the top 5 score from all classes. It is my way of being fair to all students, because any error or extremely difficult question will not be counted against you. For that reason, do not help other students to cheat by telling them the question on the test. Because if you do, it will change the average of the top 5 score and make it impossible for me to adjust the score that will be fair to you. However, there are relearning opportunities, because we know life things happen. There's a relearning opportunity for each unit. However, you only get 3 relearning opportunities per semester. Basically, at the end of each unit, we will have a specific date for relearning opportunity on that specific unit test. However, your grade is the average of both scores. The highest grade that you can earn is 75%, because in the end, this relearning opportunity is designed to give students the chance to pass the class with a C or higher. Each student will have only 3 chances per semester, and if you cannot take it on the given date, you will not be able to make it on a later date. The rest of your grade is 30% from homework and class activities. Lastly, 10% is from your participation point. And also, I want to tell you this. Due to some student complaints last year, all your grades are final, and it is based on the grade given on Infinite Campus. That is, I cannot curve it up if you are 79, 69, because I have to be fair to all students. Again, welcome to our class, and we hope that this class will be a valuable experience that will help you to be more prepared for college and your future careers.